finish, I just had to sit and remember it because it's literally weeks old. My new position is the Technology Systems and Municipal Coordinator. So there, it's a mouthful. It used to be real simple. I was just an emergency coordinator. Basically what I look after at the EOC is I look after anything that has a button switch, like if it turns on, blinks, doesn't work, it's Clayton's fault. It's as simple as that.
What was that title again, Clayton?
Pardon?
Technology Systems, what was the title?
Technology Systems Municipal Coordinator.
Bob, can we give him the microphone, please?
Oh, God.
We can't hear you.
I guess you're gonna have to start speaking Southern.
Have to start speaking Southern. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Sound like the Verizon ad, okay? Okay, what I brought to show people tonight, just back up and running, was how many people have seen all the crime shows and stuff? You see the police vehicles mobile out, they have the mobile command buses and all of that stuff, right? Show of hands? Right. Okay, what's the problem with those? Anybody got an idea? One, it's a cost. Number two, the thing that I have a problem with, because we were looking for one very similar to have a mobile command center for our ACS Harry's group, which I run, is you got to have somewhere to store it. You got gas, you got fuel, you got insurance, tax, tag, all of that stuff, right? That stuff is expensive on a yearly basis, right? So I got with a company, it's called Rescue 42, and they have developed a number of different what they call command runners and sat runners. This is the command runner. And what it basically is it is a mobile incident command unit in a box that you can put on anything from like a Ford Explorer, a Tahoe, pickup truck, and you literally load it and go. And you can operate it from the back of the vehicle. It has a couple cool things on it that I'll quickly go through. Number one, it has its own internal battery. So it runs off of battery power. It also has shore power that allows you to charge the battery and just run your devices. Has built-in inverter so that all of the power going to the radios and stuff is a nice clean power source to it. And as a third option, I'm gonna have to sit your mic down, Bob. As a third option, it has a generator that rides along with the unit. So you have three power sources, so pretty much you can take this unit and go into the middle of the field anywhere. Fire it up, and you've got communications. That's the whole purpose of this. For example, when they had Michael come through up in the Panama City, all up in that area, up in the peninsula, they had zero communications. Had they taken one of these with them, they would have been a whole lot better. Unfortunately, they forgot and left it sitting here in Pinellas. Go figure. What I have equipped in the unit, it's not just amateur radio, but it is predominantly amateur radio centric, because as we all know, when the cell towers go down, when the microwave dishes get misaligned for any of the 800 meg radios and things of that nature, they're not working anymore, and you're reliant on a ham radio. So in the unit, this one, when we purchased it, we purchased the bare bones, just the box, just the red box. Everything in here that you see radio-wise, both myself and Dave, KJ4RUS, actually put this combination of radios in here. So we have a Kenwood 2000, simply because we had a spare one. So that covers HF, it's all mode, HF, VHF, UHF. I put a couple 2900s in here for VHF. I have two 800 meg P25 radios so that they're programmed for all of the fire and also the PD channels. The idea being is that they could come up and deploy this somewhere, whether it be a fire department, emergency management, one of the CERT teams. They could go and deploy this somewhere that they had either a brush fire, or they were doing search and rescue, or they needed to set up like a county staging area, and they had communications without having to rely on putting up huge towers and things of that nature. A couple of the other things that we have built into this one that the other ones don't have, we actually have a telephone with this one. You can hear telephone, dial tone. The box actually has a telephone number. You could dial it right now from your cell phone and that phone would ring. The newer CERT boxes that I have, right now there are 3 of these boxes in the county. There's this one that emergency management has, and then because I built this one, or Dave and I built this one basically from scratch, we took the ideas that we had and put together a full-blown quote with EOC, which is the Urban Area Security Initiative, and put in a grant through the state, and we purchased 2 of these units for Lillman CERT team, or Citizens Corps. One of the boxes is going to be stationed at Lillman Fire Department, and the other one's going to be stationed at East Lake. So we'll have one in the north, one in the south. Those units have different configuration of radios in them. They have a brand new ICOM, I believe it's 7200. Yeah, I think it's an ICOM 7200 HF radio. They have a Yaesu 8900, a Yaesu FTM 400, a ICOM Marine Band, I believe it is the 5052, which also does aviation frequencies, and then they also have the P25 800 meg radios. The additional thing that they've got right now, my internet is being picked up off of an ubiquity antenna, so anywhere that I go with this box, I can either connect it up to a cell phone service or a local spectrum, anything like that, and I can get internet connectivity to this box. The CERT boxes, and this one's soon to have it as soon as it comes in, they have what's called a cradle point modem. If you've ever seen or done any research on those, they are basically a cell phone Wi-Fi hotspot. So when I get that unit installed here, I will be able to pick up both 4 different cell phone carriers. I can put 4 different SIM cards in it, Verizon, AT&T, Sprint, T-Mobile, and I can also turn the box into a 140 client hotspot. So everyone in here could connect to this box and run their laptops and things of that nature. The idea being is if Dorian had come through and done what it did in the Bahamas, we could roll a box like this out, and provided there was cell phone service, we could set the unit up, set a bunch of tables up, everybody with their laptops, they can connect to the box and do anything in getting messages back and forth to the state, or ordering supplies, or any of that type of information back and forth. Yes, Felix?
What about the iridium option?
Iridium option, I didn't go that route.
Too slow?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still...
Yeah, I went with the 2 option was I was looking at the Sierra Wireless and the Cradle Point, and between the 2, again, personal opinion, I felt that the Cradle Point was more it was the Cadillac, and seeing as government was paying for it, I'll let them, it'll be their dime.
Yeah. Can you have concurrent, I think there's a Cradle Point, I think you can have... what,
You can
4?
have 4 concurrent, yes.
Yeah, so if one drops out, you can still...
Yeah, it's automatic follow. Yes, ma'am.
In the event that the cell service is interrupted, do you go with your own antennas?
Yes. I just didn't bring any antennas with me. And as I start to end, I'll start shutting it up to show you how this thing is configured. But basically, right now, I can tilt it a little bit without dropping it.
Watch
Stay
your phone there.
Yeah, I see it. You'll see the 2 small antennas at the top. Those are the 800 meg antennas. The plan at the moment, and like I said, this one is still a work in progress, is there will be an antenna here and one on the end for both of the VHF antennas. The spot in the center is going to have a huge, what they call a 9-in-1 antenna. That'll be for the cradle point modem. And right now, I'm just running my hotspot off of this. All of our antennas right now are here. On the newer ones, like the Sept boxes, they already have the antennas with NMO connectors on the top. So basically, you turn up, you lift the lid, you screw the antennas on it, you turn the power on, and you're running. It is as simple as that. You can have these things set up in a matter of minutes. Yes, ma'am?
What is the volt-amp rating for all the equipment that I see in front of me right now?
You're talking probably 20.
Kilowatts.
No, probably about 20 amps max is all we're running.
115.
Pardon?
No, it's 12 volts.
12 volt. Everything is running off 12 volt.
Okay.
Yeah, everything here is 12 volt. There's a 80 amp hour battery that's powering everything. With the exception of my laptop right now, because I've got it plugged into shore power. But really and truly, if I come over here and unplug power to it, so I'm running off battery power right now. All that this is doing, well, of course, my laptop decides to turn off. But it came back. It just went to sleep because it went to sleep. But yeah, everything runs off of the battery. It has inverters, a complete power management system in here. They have obviously the old plug-in cigarette lighter type adapter. We have USB connectors here. You can get these in a number of configurations. Actually, if you want to do any research and look at them further, there's a website called thepodrunner.com. It's all one word. They have a number of configurations, everything from pumps on up. Right now, I do have 2 more units that I'm proposing to order. I've got the grant process started on those. Another one is a full-blown unit 4EM, very similar to this one with a few additional options on it. And then its sister unit, which is called the Sept Runner, which it looks exactly the same. The difference being is the lid and doors stay shut on it. And on the top of the unit, it has a self-deployable auto-acquiring satellite dish. So the idea of that is that you would never lose internet or phone connectivity because that satellite dish would provide the internet connectivity, and you plug it straight into the side of this box through these network connections, and then this box can rebroadcast all of the internet. Yes?
Show the price tag.
Oh, price tag. Actually, when you stop and think about it, here's my salesman hat going on. When you stop and think about it, they're not that expensive. The Sept boxes, they're basically 40 grand, 39 and change. Right? Now, you remember what I said at the beginning about buying a command vehicle? How much does a command vehicle cost? Then you've got the tax tag, title, insurance, upkeep, maintenance, gas, and all of that stuff. Not to mention a driver and all of those things over a period of years, right? And the huge thing we had a problem with is where the hell are you going to store them, right? And unfortunately, or fortunately, if you look at it from the good end of things, you don't deploy these things very often, which means they sit in a parking lot. And it never fails. The very moment you want to deploy them, you go out to them, you go to crank them up, either the battery's dead, or they got tires that got dry rot. The only thing you have to replace on these units is once every 3, maybe 4 years, you replace a battery. How much does an 80 amp hour battery cost? What, less than $100? About that. Some
Round numbers.
But when you stop and think of the price of upkeep, maintenance, and all that, plus when I store this unit, I put it on I go to drive it to the EOC, I put it on the elevator, I push it up to the 2nd floor, and I push it in a storage closet and I shut the door. It stores in a storage closet. You saw, I had to do a little bit of trickery to get it in the double doors here, but to actually get it in a building, it goes through a standard 3.0 door. Yes, sir.
Clayton, the number you mentioned, 40,000, now what is that including? Is that just the unit itself or
No,
all the equipment?
the CERT units, this one did not cost 40. This one only cost originally probably about, I'm going to say about 15 for the basic box with all of the power management and all of that. And then additionally on that, figure up the price of a 2,000, two 2900s, and two 800 meg radios. So I've got probably maybe 20 in this one,
Right.
if that. The CERT boxes and the next ones that are coming, the ones that are 40, they have all brand new radios in them. They have the cradle point modems. They have the larger monitors. They have a 4-channel HDMI matrix built into them to run the monitors. You can also get a TV tuner option with them as well that will pick up OTA or over-the-air broadcast so that you can keep apprised of things going on. So all in all, it is a complete command system in a box that you can just literally roll up, drop the lid, fire it up, and you're good to go. Yes, Bob?
How much does it weigh, Clayton?
It weighs, believe it or not, just under 600 pounds.
So Clayton, how do you move it?
Yeah, there's no, I was actually joke about this when we first bought it, because those of you that know me, I drive a vehicle called BART. It's called that because it's a big ash red truck. And they jokingly said the reason that I bought this and got it painted red was because it matched my truck. That's not the case. It's, you know, it's fire engine red. But you basically, what happens, and in fact, I will start shutting some of these things down. I'm going to shut the laptops and stuff off so that I can show you how this thing actually packs up. And it will make maybe a little more sense. I'll throw some of these out of the way. There we go. Get the junk and the riffraff out of the way.
Get your cell phone.
Oh yeah, cell phone. That'll shut up in it. All right. Basically what you're doing is, obviously you would just turn everything off, just like that. I feel like Houdini. And I'm just going to go ahead and pull this antenna loose. Damn on out of it. Probably shouldn't have stuck that in there, Dave. There we go.
Seems like a good idea.
Yeah, it seemed like a good idea at the time. Let me go ahead and drop him in the front. Got him. And it shuts down right like that.
Big red box.
Now, just so you're aware, how this thing travels, it does not roll on the wheels that you see it on. These wheels are for only when we grab the handle and we're wanting to roll around in the building. It does come with disc brakes, lockable disc brakes, I must add, right? There is a huge pin on the back of this, and any of you that want to see it when I go to load it back onto my truck, what happens is the unit, as you can see, jacks up into the air. See if I can get it high enough where you can see it. So you can operate this from pretty much any height. These legs are also adjustable. Underneath the bottom here is a huge pin. It has a trailer hitch that you slide into your receiver that has a huge flat plate on it with a hole in the top. You align the box over top of that hole, you crank it down. When it sits on that flat plate, it stops and the wheels continue folding up underneath it. So basically, it looks like a big red snap-on toolbox hanging off the back of your truck. And that's how it rides. So it rides just like this, hanging off the tail of a truck.
Just turn it around.
Even further, so that the bottom of the unit is flat
You could pretty much
and it
put-
gets it off the ground.
You could put it on a police vehicle if you wanted to.
Yeah, that's the whole idea. It can go on the back of a police Tahoe, a fire truck, you know, the Chiefs.
What about a, like a, what do you call those fun things? Crown Vic.
Huh?
If they have the ability to pitch with a Crown Vic, or that's too low?
I think, the thing is, what you need, I'll clarify this. It goes on any vehicle that is capable of having a Class 4 receiver.
So probably those little.
If you do not have and the thing is, it's a Class 4 receiver that has a minimum of 600-pound tongue weight.
Probably a Ford Escape might barely get it.
Ford Escape, you might lift the wheels off.
Just barely get it off.
Yeah, you don't want to put it on a Ford Escape, but Tahoes, my Dodge Ram has no problem with it. An F-250, it would look at it and lag. Yes,
It
sir.
looks like you got access to the back with your.
Yes, that's it. I mean, these guys, I've got to give it to Rescue Force. They put some thought into it, and they were, you know, how many times you tried to work on your radios and you've got them built? We've all seen the go boxes, right? They're a pain in the backside to work on. They put this here, so you just fold it down and you've got access to everything in the back of the unit. I'm sorry, you can't get any simpler than that unless you get somebody to do it for you.
The nice thing is you can go through a regular doorway.
Right.
That's a lot of things. I think definitely.
Yes, sir, Mr. Ed.
So as far as operation goes, when you're in the field, what would be the normal setup? It would be one operator or several operators?
Normally what I would do, in fact, we have actually deployed this, we did the, what was it, Bob? The diabetes. Yeah, it was the American Diabetes, the ACS Aries Group did the communications support for the American Diabetes run in St. Petersburg. And we went and set this unit up. We set it up underneath a, you know, a 10 by 10 canopy, and just stuck a couple tripod antennas up with a couple J-poles, and we ran net control from there. So typically 1-2 operators you would have for these units. If it were a incident to where it was fire and PD, that was why I put 2 800 meg units in this. Mainly so that one could be monitoring the FD channels, fire department channels, and the other one could be monitoring the sheriff channels.
Is it just monitoring, or can you actually?
No, you can transmit.
Okay.
Yeah, if Dave or I had keyed up on either one of those 800 meg radios,
Yeah.
that was a fear we had, was the older XTS radios, if you're not careful, when you first turn them on, they have a tendency to go into an alarm mode. It's like pressing the red button and 911 starts panicking, think it's his officer down. So we stood there and watched them, made sure that they booted up correctly.
Right, right. You mentioned operated under a canopy. So
Yeah.
they're not weatherproof, right?
Pardon?
Not weatherproof.
They're weatherproof, not
what color is that?
waterproof.
Okay. All right.
So I mean, right now, when it has all weather seal around it, so if you're riding down the road, it's not going to get damaged or anything like that. You know, so you'll see, you know, even the channels and everything
Right.
they have on it. So it's all weather sealed, but it's not waterproof.
Right.
Tell them about the racks on top there for your
Yeah,
antennas.
these things here you see me keep playing with. The idea behind these, again, is all a self-contained unit. Any of your deployable antennas, like tripods or vertical antennas or anything like that, even your canopy itself that you're taking, you would take and actually mount those on top and just tie them down with bungee cords. So they even thought of that as well, that you can take and put these here, and these are adjustable to whatever size you want them, but you can take and use the tie rings and tie down any of the antennas or stuff that you take along with you. Yes, sir.
Yes, so is that all simplex as far as county radios go, or can that act as a repeater for handheld?
This can act as, that's why I'm going to put an 8900 in here. Right now the 2000 will do it. I can do a crossband repeat in here, but not an actual true repeater.
Okay.
Because
So the county has 2 towable towers, correct?
that is correct.
So if all repeaters in the county get wiped out for county radios, those 2 towers can be deployed, but that won't act, that's standalone.
This is standalone. It actually accesses their B25 towers and also their normal system, their normal trunked radio system.
Right.
But it also will work in fallback mode, which is talk around mode. So it will work in simplex mode as well. Yes, ma'am.
I'm wondering about the ambient temperature inside the cavity from the rear door as closed. Have you run any long extended tests?
Yes.
Measure the temperature to see if that might not be a problem?
It does not get hot at all, because when you've got the lid open and the front drop down, there is actually quite a bit of air circulation. And if you'll notice on the radios, particularly even on the newer ones, they left plenty of space in all of these units, and this is actually open space right here. So when you're actually, I'll pop it back up so you can see through it. And up we go. Sort of gives you an idea. There we go.
There's no need for a fan on the back.
No, I mean, you could, if it became an issue that you had really packed this thing full, but what I've been trying to do is when I send the specs in for what radios I want, the engineers that design these things and do the radio placement, they will put little speaker blanks and leave enough space so that the radios have breathable room. And I'll give them their due. There's some pretty sharp guys. Yes, sir, John.
What's your plan for a VHF antenna?
For a VHF antenna, on the VHF, I'm planning on using, just simply because I like them, the diamond NMO mounts. One, because they don't really require a ground plane. You can stand there and hold them in your hand and they'll work fine. Same with the UHF, the diamond dual band, like the, I think, 7900.
Yeah, the 5/8 wave.
Yeah, the 5/8 wave 7900 seems to work really, it's just a good, reliable antenna. And I'm trying to get everything to a set standard of using an NMO mount as opposed to an SO235. For a HF antenna, that, right now, I have a vertical, like they use on the RVs. You've seen them at all the Ham Fest. I have one of those, and I also have a wire antenna. And if you can't find a tree to throw a piece of wire up in, that's pretty much all you need.
All right, Clayton, we thank you so
Not
much.
a problem.